All right, my friends, hello and welcome to our trauma sensitive for sexual abuse survivors. This is part 3 of our series. So, welcome. My name is Casey and I will be hosting tonight. Welcome. Let me know if you didn't make it to the first 2 practices, or if you're new or if you're returning. Just kind of pop in there, say hello. If you want to tell me where you're from, I'm here in, well, we're still pretty hot, but we're cooling down, Las Vegas. So yeah, it's really funny. The weather here, it's like 80 is probably like the perfect temperature here in the desert. And for some reason, when summer turns into fall here, it just skips right over 80s, like maybe a week if we're lucky. And then it goes right to like 60s and 50s, and then it's just cold. So yeah, I will be traveling this weekend to Massachusetts. So if you want to join me, I'll be teaching my regular 5 p.m. yin class, although it will be 8 p.m. On the East Coast. But if you are around and you want to join me for yin, please do that. But this is a different class than that. So how we doing? How we feeling? And then just let me know if there's anything I need to be aware of for the practice tonight in your body. If something is different, something has changed, anything going on with a knee, a shoulder, a hip, back, just let me know. So I'm mindful of the practice and I can give you some reminders and different cues for that. Does anybody, and I forgot to bring the chair over, but I do have a chair. Does anybody need chair yoga? Didn't even think about that today, but it can still work for everything we're doing. Hi, Nirali. Welcome back. Yeah, no worries. I do have it recorded. I'm recording this one right now. So I do have that one recorded from last week. If you want it, you can find it on my other thing, my Patreon thing. Can't really mention it here. Can you see my incense wafting over? It's very like hitting me right in the face. Anyway, friends, for the practice, you can use whatever you have around the house. If you have like blankets, towels, bolsters, blocks, all of that stuff, or couch cushions, pillows, towels, I think I already mentioned that. But if you have any of those things you want to use, please feel free to do so. Have some water. If you want to bring a journal along and write things down, please do so. I hope, I am not, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a former special education teacher. I have, multiple certifications in different kinds of yoga, trauma sensitive, yin, hatha, restorative, kids yoga, and obviously, like I said, trauma sensitive yoga. And obviously I'm offering these classes, this series, because I too am a survivor of sexual abuse. And so I have experienced the ways in which yoga has helped part of that healing for me. And the thing is, we are never fully healed in all of this, right? We just kind of learn to adapt, and we learn different things about ourselves. And maybe you're on that same journey, right? As we get older, we start to learn different things about ourselves. And I'm finding and uncovering different things that I did not know about myself. Things that I thought, I had like squared away and everything was like fine. And I'm like, I put a little bow on that. I fixed that. I'm going to put that on the shelf. No, doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, I wish it really did, but it does not. So I too am having things pop up in my life that, like I said, I thought had already been kind of put to bed, and I'm relearning, and I'm doing this in a different way as well, because 8 years ago I quit drinking alcohol. And before any time I had something pop up, the first way to deal was with booze. So now that I no longer have that as a tool, right? Because it was, and we're going to talk about that. So like what I was saying, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I am a survivor, and I'm sharing with you my experience on this healing journey of healing from sexual abuse, sexual trauma. And as I've learned about myself and how to care for myself when these things happen, I want to share that with you, but also we can be a resource. So something I just want to kind of throw out there, are we journaling? Is this something that we do regularly? If not, I highly encourage you to. Whether you like a paper and pen like I do, or if you are more of like a typer, maybe you have like a program on your phone, or you have like a diary or something that you can talk into, but expressing and getting it out is very, very important. And this is something that I intuitively felt as a child, because I had my trauma on my first one, right? Unfortunately, there were more. But this was a tool that I utilized, and maybe you could recall too, maybe think about the things you did as a child to soothe yourself. I loved to dance. I would put on that Madonna True Blue album in my mom's, our apartment, and I would turn that thing on the record player and I would just dance my little, 7-year-old heart out. So music, singing, dancing, anything to express, anything to move what we're feeling out and to help us soothe ourselves and feel better, right? So kind of going along, like, I don't have booze any longer to use as a crutch, which is an amazing thing, right? But now, after going through what I've just been through in the past 1.5 to 2 years, it's very eye-opening to do these things without that thing, right? I have to find new tools. So what kinds of tools are you using? What are the things maybe that I've mentioned, or what else are you doing? Nature immersions. And Erin, I'm guessing that means just being outside in nature, right? Walking around barefoot. Oh, my friends. There's something so healing for me. And if you have not tried it, I highly recommend it. Go to the beach, go to the grass, go anywhere where you can put your feet on the earth. Earthing, grounding, whatever you call it. Take your socks and shoes off and put your feet in the earth. It is so healing, right? It's that energy that we're getting from the earth. Maybe you like crystals, maybe you like essential oils. Find the things. These are some of the things that I have used and I still use. Sometimes I move away from them, sometimes I come back to them. Right now I'm going back to my stones and my crystals and my essential oils for that. And then, are we experiencing any kinds of flashbacks, and what are we doing in the middle of those flashbacks? What is helping? What is not helping? Do you need tools? I'm going to show you another breathing practice. Actually, it's the same one we did last week. I lied. It's the same one. We're still going to do 4x4. How are we doing? Anybody feedback? Anybody want to tell me what's going on? What kind of tools are you using? Water too, right, Erin? Water. So rivers, oceans, lakes. Even the sound, put on, go onto our wonderful insight timer and find some beautiful meditations that have running water. They say the sound of the water is very healing and soothing, and it's exactly kind of what we're doing. We're finding ways to soothe the nervous system, because that's what trauma does to us. Trauma is dysregulation of our nervous system, right? And we want to be able to go between the parasympathetic, which is our rest, digest, heal, repair, to our parasympathetic, which is fight, flight, fawn mode. So we want to be able to go back and forth, right? Relatively easy without much wonkiness to it, right? We should be like, oh, okay, everything's cool. Oh no, there's a bear, or whatever, or there was somebody that cut me off in traffic and I had to slam on the brakes, but my heart rate went up, right? All right, didn't realize my flashbacks were triggers. Our brains are different, aren't they? And how they respond. I always say that, right? Neurology, journaling, yoga, nature walks, and dancing. Absolutely, yeah. And I highly encourage you to find things that you'd like to do to move, to move your body, because that is how we work through it. If we just stay stuck and stagnant, we don't move. We're not letting that emotion pass through us, right? We're not letting those feelings go. And that's what we need to do, right? It's part of the healing. So kind of just, again, going along, building on what we did first week and then last week. The first week was all about feeling it, right? Where are you feeling it? What are you feeling? Last week, feel it. So we felt it and we named it. What are you feeling? Does it hurt? Is it twisting? Is it pressing? Is it pulling? What is it? Does this bring something else up? These are some of the things I invite you to, or encourage you to journal about, like, what did this make you feel? We need to get better at finding the words, right, to describe what we're feeling. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do today. The message today is, you are not your trauma. You are not your trauma. It is something that happened, right? It is an event. It is something that took place. But we don't have to become that. We don't have to be or take on that victim mentality, right? Because I know a lot of people that do, like, after they find whatever it is, they recognize, they realize something happens, and they realize, this is something that happened to them, right? But we did not cause this abuse, this trauma, but we are responsible for healing it, right? Because it affects so many different parts of our lives, our relationships with the opposite sex, the same sex, family dynamics, depending upon whatever, I don't want to get too into it right now. But I just want you to be thinking about what are the tools that you use, what are the things that help you. And then just if you need more tools, it's okay. That's why I've tried so many different things, you guys, because I'm like, well, maybe this can help me. Maybe this can help me. Maybe Reiki, and I love Reiki. Reiki is definitely a tool that helps me. And I did a lot of Reiki during some of these times in the most recent, when I was experiencing some of these vivid flashbacks that I hadn't had before. And that was, very disturbing and alarming to my nervous system because that had never happened. So what do you do in those moments? What do you do? Well, ground yourself, right? There's things you can do. Five things that, are this color. 4 things that are this shape, like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all of the senses, engaging it. 4 things you can touch. 3 things you can, I don't know, I forget, hear. And then 2 things you can taste, 1 thing you can smell, or something like that, so it kind of grounds you into the moment so you are not stuck on that sensation, whatever triggered it. Okay, let's go ahead and find a comfortable seat. All right, comfortable seat, use your props, whatever you have, and we will get started. I brought along, and it just felt right for me today, I brought along a couple of stones. So I have a little rose quartz and a little amethyst, and those are the ones that just kind of were speaking to me. This is the first time I've introduced any kind of crystals or rocks in this series, but if you're inspired to, if you have some, bring them, put them on your mat. They are amazing. And then I decided to bring some oil with me. So we're just gonna find that comfortable seat. Maybe you're using blocks or blankets or towels or bolster to sit up. Remember, this class is for everybody. This is not like only experienced yogis. This is for anybody and everybody. So if there's anybody in your life who you feel would benefit from this practice, please feel free to invite them, or definitely send them along my link so they can find it on the other thing. All right, my friends. So I will invite you to either soften your gaze or close your eyes or keep them open. This is totally up to you. Everything I offer is a complete choice. You can say yes, you can say no, right? And obviously I can't see you. You can only see me, but if we were in the same space and you opted not to, that's good, because you're practicing what you need for you, right? I'm not gonna take it personally. This is not about me, it's about you and your body and you feeling safe in it and you reclaiming your power over it. Nobody can do anything to you without your permission, right? Establishing those clear boundaries, right? And then us holding those boundaries, right? Very, very important to hold the boundaries. Okay, so like I said, your choice, eyes open, eyes closed. Just like last week, we did the 4x4 breathing. So we're gonna start with that once again. So it's an inhale for a count of 4, a hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold that breath out. So just think of a square, also called box breathing as well. So a few different names. And then you decide palms up or palms down, depending on how you're feeling. If you feel like you need that grounding, you're kind of like out of your body, then maybe it's palms face down on the knees. And then if you feel like you're open to receiving some energy or whatever the universe has to offer, take those palms and face them up. And then just take a moment to adjust your seat. Notice how you're sitting. Can you bring the shoulders over your hips? Right, and this just might feel nice just to kind of rock back and forth a little bit. All right, and then find stillness. Relax your shoulders down your back, away from your ears. Let's take an inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more time, inhale. Exhale through the mouth. One last breath like that. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, release. Now sealing your lips, we'll inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold all that breath out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Suspend the breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Suspend it out. Hold it. 2, 3, 4. Last round. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale it out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, friends, just find a comfortable breath. Make any observations here. How are you feeling? What does it feel like? Calm? Did you hold your breath? Did I lose count somewhere? Just notice, right? How's the heart feeling? How's the breath? How's the mind? Okay, these are just little ways to notice, right? It's making that mind-body connection that maybe we have checked out of, right? After what we've experienced. It's very easy, right? It's our body's way of protecting us. We kind of just like block it out. We're like, okay, we're cut off here. It's just the head. This is all I am. The body is just, there. I don't really pay attention to it much. That was my experience. Maybe you had a different experience. So all of our experiences are valid and very important to our own story, right? Okay, my friends, if you are sitting on something and it feels comfortable and stable, wonderful, stay where you are. If you're on that, or maybe you're on the floor, just press down into your sitting bones and then just grow your spine tall. So see if you can lift the shoulders up a little bit, like the whole upper body, and then the crown of the head reaches towards the sky. And if you feel comfortable there, then just stay there. But I definitely encourage you to switch the crossing of your ankles. Since we were sitting there I've been sitting like that for about 20 minutes on that side. So anytime if you feel like you need to move your body, you need to shift your legs or sit differently, please feel free to do so. We're gonna come just to that comfortable seat once again, easy pose, and just take some nice forward folds here. So just curve your back. So think cat and cow. And if you don't know what cat and cow means, you're gonna bring your heart forward and you're gonna put a little curve in your back. So I'm just turning sideways so you can kind of see. So like think as if somebody has like a string at your heart center, they're pulling it forward. So you're just kind of leaning towards them. And then as you exhale, round your back, look in between the space of your legs. Then you inhale forward, exhale back. So this is just nice little seated cats and cows. Simple little movement here, getting into the spine. And So I notice as I am moving my spine forward and back, this extension and flexion of my spine, I'm noticing I'm feeling something in my mid-back. So just observe for a moment as you're moving where you might feel sensation in your body. And then get curious, like, oh, I wonder why I'm feeling it there. Is there something in the way I'm sitting when I drive or when I'm at work or whatever else that you do? Right? Maybe there's just little things you can make adjustments to. All right. So let's do this for another 3 rounds of breath. So inhale forward, exhale back. Remember, your movement doesn't have to be the same as mine. It could be smaller. Maybe it's just little cats and cows. That's fine. Any amount is good, right? The only thing we don't want to do is not move. We always want to make sure that we're moving. All right, and then next one, just come up. Again, readjust if you need to. Maybe rock a little back and forth with the hips side to side. Right, just kind of like feeling your body on the floor and feel that stability beneath you. Feel that grounding. Like I was talking about earthing, taking off, it's the same idea, right? So a lot of the practice, like the yin practice I teach on Fridays, it's floor-based. And I've said it before when I've taught yin, but yin for me is a very healing practice because it really asks you to feel sensation, as opposed to when you're in a hatha class or a vinyasa class where you're moving and you're not, sometimes the movement is so fast you don't really have an opportunity to feel, right? Because of the movement is one movement, one breath. But when you come to yin, you're holding postures and you're not, pushing the body into the shape, you're allowing, you're letting go, which I think is very complementary to the healing work that we're doing right now. And that's why I like that yin is just so perfect for healing. But because you're holding the postures for so long, you really have to feel it and you have to notice. And then it really, you get really smart and wise about your body with yin. At least that's been my experience. It takes me sometimes to new levels. I'm like, oh, I impress myself sometimes. I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't think that was still possible. Okay, so a little side bend, side to side. Does not matter which side you start on because we're gonna go both ways. So just bring one hand down to the earth, the other arm comes up. And the same like before, when we're doing the previous movement, cats and cows, you don't have to come down far. Maybe it's just a little side bend. Or maybe you can go a little bit deeper, but I want you to do what feels good in your body. Nobody else's, yours. So I notice when I come into the side bend that my hip on that arm that comes up is coming up too. I'm gonna see if I can press that hip down so it doesn't come up, and then I can feel a little bit more in my rib cage. So maybe you might notice the same thing. So see if you can ground down your hips. Good, and then just a little movement side to side. If at any time you want to try closing your eyes, you may do that. But that is a choice that you can make, right? Different, right? It's different than if you were taking a regular public class, right? The direction would be, okay, everybody close your eyes, right? It's not like that here, right? We teach differently when we are doing trauma sensitive. We are mindful about the postures and what it may feel like in some of those shapes that just may not feel right. So we take those out. We take them out completely, right? But I'm going to tell you why we do certain postures. So the first one's it's just to move the spine, right? These first two postures, the side bends and the cats and cows, it's all about just moving the spine, getting a little bit of bendy and flexibility. All right, so the next time we come up, that'll be the last time, bring the hands down. We're gonna transition to our hands and knees, but just very briefly, we're gonna come into a plank pose. And I will give some choices for plank pose as well. If you want to bring along a blanket or a towel for underneath your knees, you can do that. The plank that we're going to be coming into is to strengthen the upper body, right? And we're going to maybe hold it. I'm going to count a little bit, so it'll be great. Okay, so here's the transition. If you are coming up to your plank and maybe you're going to bring both knees up. So it's plank just like so, right? Or if it's just too much, bring those knees down. And if you brought the knees down, this is where you might want to add that blanket underneath the knees, right? So you can still take the plank pose just like this. Leave a little bend in the elbows. And we're gonna hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep pressing those heels back. 5, 4, pull the belly in. Can you feel? 3, 2, 1. Okay, bring the knees down. Sit back on your heels. Okay, that was kind of just to get the arms and the upper body warm and strong, right? Because we can build some strength here too. Okay, it's not just about feeling, but maybe you feel that. Maybe you feel the muscle engagement in your arms. Okay, the next time we come up, because we're going to do it 2 more times, and I'm going to ask you to look at something, or I'm going to ask you to bring awareness to a certain part so you can, right, feel it, right? Feeling it, healing it, get it, name it to tame it. Okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, come back to hands and knees, transition to your plank or half plank. Maybe those knees are staying down, but if they're coming up, I really want you to focus on your upper back. Okay, so can you lift the upper back? And counting down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Knees down, sit back, rest. Again, notice the wrists. Does it feel like the wrists need a little rest? Do they need a little rotation? Do they need a little movement? Right? Especially if we're not always putting our hands in those positions, they might feel a little tender. So be mindful, take the break when you need it. Okay, if you don't hold it for all 10 count, that's okay. Right, you hold for as long as you can. Okay, we're gonna come back into it one more time. And now, I want you to think about your heels and your calves. I want you to start paying attention to what you feel. All right, come back to that all fours, or maybe you're on the knees. If you're on the knees, I want you flexing, right? So I want you pressing those heels back so that the toes come towards your shins, even if you're in this half plank. Alrighty, counting for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep pressing those heels back. Good. Drop the knees. Did you feel the calves engage? Did you feel some burning, little spiciness happen? Right? It's building that strength, building those muscles. It's good. It's good for us. All right. Okay. From here, we are going to just slowly transition up to a standing posture, because I figured it's time to maybe do a warrior. Okay, we are warriors, we are survivors. We did warrior 1 last week. Let's do warrior 2. So just to kind of get into the shape, because we haven't done any standing yet, we're gonna take one leg straight and the other one bent. It does not matter where we start, what side, because we're going to do both sides, okay? So just for now, bring your hands to your hips, to your waist, and then just notice those toes. I want the front toes pointing to the top of your mat, so your knee is tracking towards that way. And this back leg can either be at an angle, or maybe it's parallel with the back of your mat. Okay, so parallel with the back, or a slight internal rotation, but toes here pointing to the top. And then just begin to bend and straighten into that front knee. And we're gonna do this for a little while. So thinking about the trunk, right, the bottom part, the legs. We're working on strengthening the lower body now. So we did the plank upper body, now lower body. Good. And I'm just telling you why. You know, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of this shape? Why are we doing this one now? So this is, you know, week 3. We did a lot more on the floor before. So now we're just kind of building our way up. So when you are ready, you may add your arms. So you're gonna take those arms straight out from the heart. Good. And then see if you can bring the knee underneath the ankle, if you can. And if you can't, that's okay. Don't worry. You don't have to go super deep into this shape to feel something, okay? I'm feeling something in the back hip. That's where I'm feeling it today. We're just gonna hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Maybe look over the front fingertips. 3, 2, 1. Press into that front heel. Come up. Bring those legs together. Walk them in. Shake it out a little bit. Whew, what are you feeling? Okay, I'm definitely feeling something in that back leg, and that back hip, right? Okay. Anything else? So far, so good, everyone? Okay. All right, wonderful. Happy to see all of you here tonight. And thank you for showing up and taking care of yourself and practicing that self-care and honoring what is, you know, what you have experienced and what's happening right now in your body, okay? Remember, there is no specific timeline for healing, okay? My thing happened many years ago when I was a little girl, but here I am at 43. There's still stuff that happens that pops up. All right, friends, other side. We're gonna go to the other side, then we're gonna do another round, okay? Just to build that strength in the legs. So again, just like how we started on the other side, the back foot is either parallel or slightly turned in, and then these front toes are pointing to the top of your mat. And your knee is gonna track towards that second toe. So hands on waist, good, back leg is straight. Arms aren't involved yet. We're just kind of getting into this shape very slowly. Good. What do you notice about this front foot? How does that foot feel? Does it feel stable and grounded? Right? Hopefully it should. It's your foundation. You want it to be like it's not moving. It's staying right where it's at. All right. Very carefully come to that bent knee position, holding here, and then let's take the arms out from the heart. And then maybe you look over that front middle finger. That's what we call our focal point, our drishti. Not important, but just a little something else. All right, holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press into that heel, come up. Good. Walk those feet in. Maybe shake one leg out at a time. Shake the arms out. If you are newer to yoga and this is not something you normally do, you might be feeling a lot of things. Or even if you are a regular practitioner, you might still be feeling things because I'm giving you a space, right, where it's okay to give yourself permission to do something or to skip it, right? What we do on this yoga mat does not have any kind of like assigned value, like, oh, well, she didn't do that pose or he didn't do that pose. It's okay, right? We are not worth, like, it's not our worth what poses we do or not, okay? All right, let's go back to that first side. Bend and straighten. Hands can stay on the waist. Or maybe you add the arms and then settle into the shape. Just make sure those front toes are pointing to the top. Holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Can you get deeper? 5, 4, 3. Maybe flip that palm, turn it up. 2, 1. Back to warrior 2. Come out. Walk those feet in. Shake it out. Oh, so good. I'm feeling the strength. I'm feeling some spiciness. I'm feeling some, warmth start in my legs, right? That means I'm firing up those muscles and I am building some strength. And we want to build that strength because it's gonna help with our resiliency. Okay, we are very resilient people for having to experience what we've experienced. So don't sell yourself short. We are very capable. We are very strong people. Okay, so recognizing and understanding your vulnerability is a good thing, right? But it's also important for us to protect and have those boundaries. So when you're ready, back legs straight or turned in, front toes to the top, bend and straighten, and then we're gonna hold for 10, 9, maybe you look over the front finger, 7, 6, 5, get a little deeper, 4, 3, 2, 1, press into that heel. All right, come up, shake it out, shake it out. Find a little stillness here just for a moment. Let's find our mountain. Or just our, standing on 2 feet evenly, equal standing posture. And then can you turn your palms so they face forward? And then just open up across the heart. And then just feel that openness across the top part of your chest under the clavicle bones. And then just look forward. But if you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes and find stillness. It might feel a little uneasy, a little unsteady, a little scary, right? Because our eyes are closed and we're being asked to balance. Good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let it out. And all the tension, any stress that you're holding onto. We also have a full moon coming up tomorrow. And if you're into the woo, like I am, this is a wonderful time to let go and release. Let it go. Whatever you're holding onto that does not serve you, that you do not need, right? Because if it's not a part of your future, why are you dragging it with you? We have to let it go, right? Inhale once more. Exhale, release, let it go. All right, friends, we're gonna come back down to the floor. Find that comfortable seat. And again, just find stillness for a moment. Take notice, take stock. What's happening? Do you notice anything different? Did this pose become easier? Do you feel a little quieter inside? Were we able to kind of soothe any kind of mental chatter? Right, that's what yoga is. That's what we're doing. That is one of the goals, is to regulate the nervous system and to not let this thing in between the ears run everything all the time, right? This overthinking mind, right? It always has something to say. But sometimes we need to just not, right? It just needs to stop. So this is why we have the tools. We have the yoga, we have the meditation, we have our breathing practices. Maybe we journal, we do some pages every morning. Maybe we read something inspirational. Maybe we are artistic and we like to draw, or we create, where we write music, we play music, or maybe we listen to music. I'm in the music listening category. That is one of my favorite things. Maybe you like live concerts. Find the things that are bringing you happiness and joy into your life, right? And if you're not doing them, I need you to find them for you, right? So find those things that bring you joy and happiness. Do them by yourself. Find somebody to do them with you if you like. I like to be alone, but I would like to have somebody to do them with me. So find the things and do them often, and if you're not doing them often, why not? We deserve to feel good, right? We don't need to feel stuck. We don't need to feel sad all the time, right? It's okay if it comes up. I want you to feel it rather than suppress it. But it's kind of like going back to that, what I was saying earlier about You are not your trauma. You do not need to become the, we have maybe an idea of what that means, right? Of like what it means to become your trauma, right? Maybe you've met some of these people. Maybe you were one at one point. I was at one point as well. Not like the woe is me, but like I didn't ever view myself as a strong person or a warrior until I quit drinking. And then I realized, wow, I can really handle this. I can do this. I do not need that anymore. And I can take it on. And I felt strong. And so once I felt strong, I was like unstoppable. I can do anything. If I can leave that behind, I'm good, right? So do things that bring you happiness and joy, that bring you peace. Because what we've experienced has affected our nervous system. Maybe we deal with anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder. Maybe there is some PTSD. Maybe there's some complex PTSD. Okay? Like I said, I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I am a survivor like you, and these are the tools I have used, and I'm just sharing them with you because they might help you as well. And my job here in this space is to be of service, to serve you, right? So, but likewise, if you have resources and you want to share, I love it, and everybody loves to hear your input because maybe it resonates, or maybe it's something that they never did and they never thought of, right? Maybe you've tried something and you know it's not for you, but maybe somebody else in your life would say, hey, you know what, this didn't work for me, but this might benefit you. It's just sharing information. Okay, so again, just noticing how you're feeling in your body, what has shifted, if anything, and if nothing has changed, that's okay too, right? We don't always have to see, sometimes it's like we're almost plateauing, right, stagnant for a while, and then something happens, and then maybe we revert back to previous behaviors or coping mechanisms, and then we come back, and then maybe we make some progress. Remember, it is not linear. I wish it was, my friends, but it's not. And I always explain trauma is more like a spiral. It's like, maybe something triggered you, and then like you kind of work on it, and then you move away from it, and then you heal a little bit more, and then you come back to it. Maybe something happens again and it kind of triggers you. The triggers are meant for us to look at and go, why? What about this event, this person, whatever? And not just in this, the space of sexual abuse, but I mean, looking at other ways in which maybe we meet somebody at work, or a client, or whoever says something to us and it triggers something. That's a great opportunity for us to dive deeper and learn more about ourselves and understand ourselves better. I know I'm preaching to the choir already. I already know you know what I'm talking about. So, or not. It's okay if you don't either. But this is my jam. This is my stuff. I love talking about this stuff. I love talking about self-care. And I want to help people have those self-care plans for themselves. Because if we don't know what to do, we don't know what to try, and we start grasping for things, right? Just anything, right? Social media is huge. It's a great way to forget about your life and just kind of zone out. But how is that being of benefit to us, right? How is that challenging us to grow as human beings, right? And serve our purpose. Whatever your purpose is, we all have a beautiful purpose on this planet. All right, so to close, let's place a hand on the heart, a hand on the belly, or maybe both hands stay on the heart, or maybe both hands on the belly. But I want you to make a conscious decision of what's going to feel best for you. So hand on heart, hand or hands on heart, hand on belly or hands on belly, or one on each. It's up to you. And again, your choice, an opportunity to close your eyes and go inward. Or maybe, if the eyes are staying open, can you soften them towards the ground in front of you very gently? Just soften through your face, soften through your jaw. And see if you can breathe into your hands. Now let your body expand with your breath. I just want to remind you that you are strong, you are powerful, you are capable. You have all of the answers and all of the tools that you need available to you. You are stronger than you think. You are not your trauma at all. And you have the power to create the life that you want. But we need to be mindful. Mindful of ourselves and mindful of the things that do not bring us happiness and joy, and the things that we know that are not right in our hearts. We know that, we feel that. Trust that intuition. I definitely encourage you to pay more attention to those little things, those little signs, those little sensations that happen when you know things are not right or it's not for you, right? Listening to that intuition. And if you closed your eyes, just gently begin to blink them open. If the eyes are focused downward, just gently begin to lift the gaze, take the hands off, and then let's just begin taking little circles in the spine. Just little circles in the spine. And then reverse, go the other way. Come back to our comfortable seat. We're going to close the practice. How are we doing so far? Okay, let's close and then I'll come over and we'll chat. All right, inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bringing down all of that divine universal energy to your heart centers. And that divine universal energy vibrates as the frequency of love through which you and I and all sentient beings are connected on this planet. The light in me salutes and honors the light in all of you, my friends. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for being present, and I hope you got what you needed out of this practice. It's not, I'm not making this a complicated, physical practice. Because it really almost doesn't even matter what postures, it does matter what postures we do, but it's really about getting into the body. So literally we could have been doing jumping jacks and, sun salutations, but it's about feeling it and recognizing what we're feeling, where we're feeling it. Because like I said, there's a lot of what we've experienced. We've kind of cut ourselves off here at the head, and it's like we're only dealing with this part and we're ignoring everything south of the chin. And we need union, right? We practice yoga, union, yoking, putting together. It's important that we make that connection, mind, body, spirit, so we can be balanced humans, not harming other people, right? We want to be doing something positive for humanity. So it's better to connect with the body, connect with your body, know it feels good, know it does not feel good, and then, like I said, holding those boundaries nice and strong, which is challenging after what we've experienced. At least that's been my experience. And again, sometimes those people that challenge those boundaries, they're put there for a reason, right? I don't know what in your experience, but for me, it's been a reminder from the universe, whatever, God, Yahweh, whatever higher power name you use, it's been kind of a reminder to me of, are you sure this person's kind of violating your boundaries, and this is something that does not feel right? Are you going to allow them to do this? And then you have to take your power back. So that is really what I'm hoping to happen for all of us, is that we take our power back, and we get to decide, right? We get to make the choices on our bodies, right? Okay. Lisa, thank you. Namaste so much for showing up. Nurali, Aaron, thank you, all of you, for being here. If you have any questions or if you want to connect, please feel free to send me a message here on Insight Timer. You can email me on my website, which is connected on here as well, Nouveau Hippie Holistics, as well as Instagram. So you take your pick, whatever feels right, and then we can chat. Or if you want some resources, I have some wonderful books to share about yoga and trauma, right? They're really wonderful books. Thank you, Ron, so much for your donation. Thank you, Nurali. Thank you so much for your coming on here. And it's okay if you missed last week, and that goes for anybody. If any of you missed session 1 or 2, I do have that up on my link tree, so it's attached to my Patreon. So it's there, available for purchase, and you have that forever and ever and ever. But again, if there's somebody that could benefit from this practice, please send them the link to the next one. We'll be doing this again next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time here. I'm here in Las Vegas. So please feel free to join next week as well. And then the last one will be, so next week will be the 23rd, and then the following is the 30th. So I was only doing the 5 Wednesdays. But if this is, helpful, and you feel like this could benefit you another time, let me know, and then maybe we'll do another one, maybe like in January. Give me November, December, and then we can do another one starting in the new year. So, all right, friends, enjoy the rest of your evening. Drink your water. Take care of yourself. Practice self-care as much as you can. Self-care is a wonderful way for us to give back what we need to ourselves. I mean, self-care, it's not selfish, it's what we need. So would you deny your best friend or your partner of certain things? Probably not. So don't deny yourself of that. And it's important for us to recognize when we are running on low, when we are being depleted, because when we get that way, I don't know about you, but I'm not a pleasant person when I am depleted and I am running on empty. So you need to fill up your cup. You need to say, again, holding those boundaries. No, I need to take this afternoon for myself. I'm going to go ride my bike in the park, or walk in the grass, or, get a manicure, get a pedicure, get a massage, get a facial, whatever it is. You set that time for yourself, for you. And maybe that means pulling out a book, listening to a podcast, whatever it is. And these are things I'm just throwing out there. So if you need ideas, that's what I'm doing. I'm just throwing ideas out at you. So because sometimes we just need new tools, and sometimes I go through a series of listening to, codependency podcasts. Sometimes I go through periods of time of just listening to of affirmations and a podcast just strictly on that. So, I take what I need when I need it. And that's part of what I'm encouraging you to do, is to find those things that you need when you need them and use them. And also to, this is part of what I do as a health and wellness coach too, is helping people find ways to build these self-care plans for themselves. I'm going to help you design it, but what is the priority to you? What are the things that you want to work on? Because it's important, right? We need to fill our own cups. And, even the people closest to us will not always recognize when we're, running on empty. But maybe there are some people in your life that are like, hey, I've noticed, you look, would you like to whatever, hey, can I take you to whatever, whatever the two things you can do together. But, recognize it in yourself first. What do I need? What do I need to do for myself so I can be there to support the other people that I love, right? Because that's what it's about, right? Okay, enjoy the rest of your evening. Drink your water. Take care. Connect with me if you feel free to. And then your donations are always greatly appreciated and welcome. Very, very much. All right. I'll see you next time, next Wednesday. Otherwise, I will be teaching live from Massachusetts. I'll be in Newburyport because I'm going to Salem. I'm so excited. I've always wanted to go visit Salem. And when I lived in New Hampshire, the year I wanted to go was during COVID time, unfortunately, and I did not get to go. So now I just get to take a nice little trip back there to go visit. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.